Hi there, I'm Matt Holland and you're watching Irish Football Fan TV.
Hello and welcome back to Irish Football Fan TV. This is our League of Ireland show. We're back again this week. Bit of a sad time for League of Ireland in Europe because of obviously the result at Dundalk. A lot of people had...
Yeah, me included, had big hopes for Dundalk because they look like a team that would adapt quite well to European football. They look like they've been developing the last couple of years into like a shape and a structure that will work well, but unfortunately it was just a very bad day at the office. Very Dundalk-like. They've kind of fell to pieces really at the back. Obviously, look, it's well documented. They conceded a lot of goals.
But I just thought the goals that they conceded, like they're very avoidable. But as well as I was watching the second goal in particular, Sean Hoare, he gives the lad who scores all the time in the world, and you can actually see Brian Gatland's frustration. Like he's fuming as the ball's going to the net. You can actually see him like why are you letting him just stand there and put the ball in
there was definitely a lot of gaps that were exposed. I don't know, was it naivety in the fact that they tried to press a bit high up the pitch like they usually do? Opposition is probably a couple of...
I don't even think that.
It's just they just got caught rotten really, and like, you know, you spoke about a 2-0 there. The penalty shout that they got at 2-0.
Yeah, McGrath. It should have been a penalty.
Yeah, it should have been a penalty. The ref angle was completely blocked of it. You can see why he didn't give it, but that's not a good enough excuse. It was clear that there was contact. And it should have been, if that had gone in, it's if buts and maybes really, isn't it? It probably will, in a way, goal would have given them big confidence. Maybe it would have shored things up. But the way it was, they couldn't, like Gary Rogers made some very good saves as well and really kept the score respectable.
Yeah, but you wonder now, is this kind of downfall at Dundalk? They're after losing against Cork. I know they rested a few players on Sunday, or Cove, sorry, not Cork, in Cork.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they lost against Cove. They're obviously after losing that. You'd imagine that Stephen Kenny will be trying to get them to kind of bounce back now. Although, as I say, they did rest a few players at the weekend, but they still should be beating the team league below.
It was a result that really shocked me. It was one of those, like, it's the epic cup upset. No doubt Cork City will be buying a few pints to their neighbours there the next couple of days. It was definitely a result that I'm sure that was well received down south. Yeah, look, the way it is with Dundalk at the moment, like I know they've lost the league, or sorry, not lost the league, they've lost the lead for a short term. What is it, a couple of points, and they're a couple of games in hand. Yeah. It's important that they get a result again, just to get rid of this negativity straight away. I fully expect them to do that. I expect them to kick on. That bunch of players, they've been around the block too many times. Stephen Kenny is too much of an experienced manager, I think, for a rot to set in, and I expect them to kick back into form.
Yeah, well, obviously we're talking about them losing the gap or whatever like that. Cork seems to be firing on all cylinders, and they went to Waterford and got a great results.
They did. It looked like and I only got to see the highlights now, but it looked like a brilliant game of football. Definitely very eventful.
It was also nice to see Noel Hunt play for Waterford.
Yeah, like and he was pretty much involved in everything. It seemed, he scored the opening goal.
And it was a nice goal as well. He made a fool of that young lad, John McLaughlin, and he's a very talented player. He's nominated for Player of the Month.
Yeah, and there's talk of bigger and better things from McLaughlin as well. But yeah, no, like the cute old dog kind of came back, really, didn't he? And
well, it was experience. It's the way he took him on, and then he took and scored the near post. It was a great goal, great finish.
It was, and it really set up the game. And it looked like it was going to, like, just from watching back the highlights, it looked like maybe Waterford were going to push on. It sounded like a very good atmosphere down there, as well as we've come to expect, really. But then Cork come back in the game. There are probably two goals that are probably, particularly the second one with the spill off the keeper. I
thought it was a great ball up by Beattie up to Cummins.
It was. That was the first one. It was a brilliant ball. The second one more so was a little avoidable, and then talk about drama at the end with the penalty decision. Shall we say? Noel Hunt was absolutely fuming. He was almost holding back the swear words in the interview afterwards.
Yeah, but when I watched it, it was a weird one. Like, they both clipped each other's feet. It looked more so like he kicked the Cork defender first.
Look, I can see why it wasn't given. Like, if it's your team, you're going to be jumping.
Oh, of course.
But particularly the way the game was, trying to get the equaliser. There was a bit of pressure coming as well. I still haven't made my mind up on it whether it was a pen or not, and that probably leans towards that it probably wasn't. But one of these out of they've been given sort of.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I don't know why he was going so mental. It wasn't very blatant, like.
Yeah, but no, I get why he's so cheesed off with it. It would have been a big result, or we would have probably got a draw out of it. The way the game was, etc., etc., the emotion of it, etc. We've all been there.
Yeah, but for me, the second goal, Graham Cummins does exactly what all good strikers should do and
Beautiful.
follows the ball in.
Yeah,
and it was a great finish.
Yeah, actually,
improvisation at its finest.
Yeah, absolutely, and like a very, very difficult. It might look easy. The ball's ricocheted out to you. You're pretty much 1-on-1 with the keeper, but he arced his foot up quite well. He reacted very, very well, and he, as you said, improvised and tidy finish and a very important goal.
Absolutely. And you're looking then at the Derry versus Sligo game. There's a bit of a derby there between them.
Almost, yeah.
So they seem to do it. The Patrick McLean derby and Ali Roy.
We go from the Munster derby up to the I suppose the Northern derby, we'll call it, will we?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like a good game of football. There was chances on early on. Rhys McCabe hits the post. Then Sligo, Derry go down the other end and score, and it was an absolute cracking goal.
Beautiful finish.
Boy, McDonough apparently used to play for them. I don't really know too much about him, but Soccer Republic is saying that he used to play for Sligo, but I mean, I'd say that was nice for him to get that, and what a goal it was! I think it was his first goal for Derry as well.
Beautiful.
What a way to score it.
Yeah, no, beautiful. It almost deserved to win a game. It was that good of a strike. But Sligo, by all accounts, were excellent, and even you see the Derry management afterwards saying Sligo fully deserved the win, and
Money Hall.
Yeah, like. What is it? McAleer pretty much. Was he his first touch almost?
But Cawley scored a nice goal for Sligo to get them back into it, and he got a bit fortunate with the goal because he plays a ball, gets ricocheted, and kind of comes back down to him.
And then it's like a little poke almost like in the school year.
Good finish, to be fair to him.
Tidy finish.
But then as you say, McAleer, it was one of those. It could easily have went over. He done well. He done well to set himself and compose himself, and it was a great finish if you actually look back at it. And if it was his first touch, even better.
Yeah, and a massive result for Sligo. Look, we've all heard the doom and gloom around the club there the last while. I think very much after the Bray result, but a huge result for them.
Yeah, and then after all their off the ball stuff and all that stuff.
Yeah, etc.
Has there been any more update on that? They just decided to sponsor them out of the blue, and then
media partner, I believe is the word. I'm not quite sure.
I just had to be a bit more about them, or a bit more publicity. I know Adam Morgan's left by mutual consent, but I think there's other reasons why. But people
we'll have that discussion off air, will we?
Yeah. Yeah, and kind of moving then down towards the kind of bottom of the table. Some good results obviously for Dublin teams. Starting off with Pats. 3-0 win versus Bray. I think it was expected. Pats are always very good at home. They actually had their shooting boots on this week.
Yeah, for once it wasn't a horrible, frustrating night at Richmond. They actually got their chances. Now it seemed like they made hard work with it for initially, but then they pushed on and.
Some finish for the first goal by Ryan Brennan.
What a finish.
Absolute screamer of a goal.
Right in the top bin, and just from it almost felt like it was one of those goals where you're watching it and then you're like, oh Jesus, where did that come from? That sort of way. Like you just got to the edge of the box and you didn't think there's a lot on, and then he absolutely slams the top in. Beautiful finish, and settled them down, got them on the way, and then after that, really, it was just a question of how many, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. But then they went on. They pushed on a few times and they had chances and stuff like that. But then good ball in by I think Conan Byrne, and then Ian Turner scores. I don't really know too much about Ian. Again, it looked like they were playing not their full strength. So a lot of players that when we've been down looked at them playing, and I know Graham Kelly, my mate, giggles. Fair play to you, got on the score sheet as well with a great header. So fair play to you. Hopefully you can kick on now and start getting a permanent place in that centre mid. But there's a lot of good players in that centre midfield position that they have there as well. Their biggest issue for me, Pats, is that they don't have a centre forward. Christy Fagan, I think, is injured again, out for the season.
Yeah, it's been a struggle. They play such good football, but they do dominate a lot of games, and even against the bigger teams, there's not one big team that I have seen that's come to Richmond especially and utterly dominated them from start to finish. Even against Dundalk, they had spells where they were on top. Remember, they're 1-0 up at half time and they played some very good football, possibly even could have been 2-0 up. But it's too many times the results they get aren't reflected by their performance, and it really is we'll call it the simple thing, but the most important thing in football of taking their chances and just turning those. Like if they had like a not even a goal machine, but a little bit more of a finisher, a little more of a focal point up front, just to make use of all the very good possession, all the very good play that they have.
Or even to get the wingers in behind.
Yeah, just hold it up and let them run in.
Dean Clark's, as we all know, is a great pace.
Yeah.
And he looks a very frustrated figure. He looks like he's really struggling to score a goal at the minute. I think once he gets a goal, he'll be firing on all cylinders again.
There's a lot of players like that in the past team, though, isn't there? It's just... They frustrate me really at times because you just know there's so much more in them, and they're capable of a lot more. And yeah, like you just hope that the results then they'll push up the table a bit, because they're close enough to that European spot there. There's a bit of a free for all really in that middle section.
I don't think they get it now. I think they kind of had the spell where they were good, and
it's still
I think other teams are kind of moving up there slowly but surely. So I just don't see it happening. I'd like to see it happen because obviously I love going down to Richmond Park, and I always say, I think on every show, that we get a great reception.
Absolutely.
I mean, we really do like going down to Pats, and they always really like when we go down. I think they feel like it's good for them. They're getting publicity at the ground. But another team who we haven't been down to in a long time now is Bows.
Yeah,
and
they're a lot of the start of the season. It's been a while since I've been there now.
Yeah. Well, as I say, sometimes there's been a lot of change for us in terms of work and stuff like that. So we hope to get to more grounds now, and even start going, I was about to say universally, but maybe more so around the country. So keep an eye out. We'll probably end up at more games down around the country now before the end of the season anyway. Definitely me anyway. I'm not sure about yourself, obviously, with your work situation. But moving on to Bowls anyway, 5-0 win. They seem to be scoring a lot of goals lately. Whereas they couldn't buy a goal when we were
I just repeat everything I said about Pats. Just change it to Bows. It felt like that again, Dalymount. So many times you're down there where it's just frustration. It's just another one of those games where a lot of possession. They do play a lot of tidy football, but yet not able to get the goals that turn those performances into results. It's a game against Limerick that they're expected to win, and they did. They got a sack full of goals as well in the process. Badly needed 3 points, but they seem to be another team that's probably looked like they're probably turning a little bit of corner, and hopefully they will push on as well.
Yeah, there was a list of goal scorers. So the goal scorers was Devani with a nice header. It was actually a nice score by JJ Lunny, he's actually a decent, tidy enough player.
Tidy finish. Yeah,
he's a tidy enough player. He came from Pats in the summer, but he's a good player. And then Buckley with an absolute rocket.
Yeah, what a finish. What an absolute.
I was actually watching that with the cameraman Paul before the show. It was absolute rocket of a goal.
Screamer.
Dinny Corcoran, poor lad, can't buy a goal at the moment.
Yeah, he's struggling. I think politely we'll put it.
Yeah, but he had an involvement in the last two goals, because his shot that goes out, I think, comes in for a corner. Tony Grant scores from the corner, and then a lovely ball over the top into Owen Stokes, and then sets him up, and he gets a penalty and then dispatches it. So, I mean, although that's a sign of a very good player, is that even if he's not scoring goals, he's still helping the team win. True.
Look, and also he'll be worried about after that result, or is the result really? There was goal scorers all around.
Yeah, but strikers.
Yeah, I know. Look, obviously he's going to be inside of, look, I want this. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be human if he wasn't. But look, I'm sure he's happy. I'm sure he would have swapped scoring if it meant losing. You know what I mean? Like, the most important thing really is the 3 points, and that was a cannot lose game for Bows. And
they Limerick now are in the playoff spots now.
They're in big trouble.
I think that they're more than likely going to go down. I'd say a team from the first division probably beat them.
It's a shame, really, because like Tommy Barrett is such a nice guy. So he's done, his hands are pretty much tied really at the club there. Done a decent job. Tried to play decent football with them. You can argue that sending off, or was it a sending off where they're straight through in the first half and it's only yellow. Again, another one of these ones where it might have changed the course of the game, but ultimately, Bowles just had too much class, too much firepower in the end.
Yeah, I think Limerick are as good as gone now. If they survive the playoff, maybe so, but Bray definitely gone.
Bray are gone, and then it's Limerick for the playoff. That's where we're looking at, really.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to get to a game now this week, for sure.
Cup games this weekend now, isn't it? Speaking of the cup games, well, we kind of touched on it earlier, but I will have to say it again. Speaking of the cup, that result from Cove.
Yeah.
My God.
That's respect to them. I mean,
absolutely.
Cove haven't been great at all. this season. You know what I mean? And to go out and beat a Dundalk team, albeit it may have been second string, but we still have a lot of good players in that squad there. So it's still a shock either way. And credit where credit's due. You got to give credit to Cove.
Absolutely. Definitely one that gets the headlines for them.
Yeah, there'll be more cup games. Now I think Cork are actually away to Home Farm actually.
Yeah, there's a nice, unique. You'll see them all. There's too many to name, but there's some nice typical cup fixtures. You get
Inchicore, Athletic or Celtic or something against Pats.
It's Pats. Yeah, there's a little bit of a derby there as well. Yeah, so no, something a little different, but something very much exciting for the weekend ahead.
Yeah. I think that's been it for our League of Ireland show. There's not been that many games to talk about, but we look forward to some other content coming this week. Obviously, we're going to have Luke Byrne on the show this week. Obviously, check out the goals and highlights from the Celtic Legends game at the weekend. That should go up at some point this week as well. We'll obviously be attending a game at some point over the weekend, and keep an eye out for that content too. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you have. There's a little bit in I think it's either this corner or that corner. There's a little watermark.
Whichever one you want, really.
Just click the subscribe button. We're on our way to 3k at the moment, so just help us get up there as quick as possible. And thanks for watching. Have a lovely week.
Talk to you all soon.